The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
In Lakewood today, there's a fellow by the name of Shmuel Newman. Shmuel Newman had a great idea a number of years ago. He decided, you know what he's going to do? As kids are getting bar mitzvah, he opened an organization called Bonai Chavivai, My Beloved Children. And if they undertake to learn a certain Gemara, especially the Gemara of Tamid, which is about the Beis HaMikdash, he buys them a special Gemara that has pictures and it has extra pages that you could fill in your own notes. And if they learn a couple of the Gemaras and they review it, he buys them a shas. It's incredible. And he's done it for hundreds of kids. So he told me this story. Listen to this. There was a little boy, 12-year-old boy, his name was Binyamin Wilhelm. You'll see in a minute why that name is important. Binyamin Wilhelm. The kid was 12 years old, and he was learning Masechta Tamid for his bar mitzvah. And Nebuch, that tragedy in Meron happened, where 45 were killed. And one day this little boy, Binyamin Wilhelm, is reading about the people who died. And he read about a boy named Yehoshua Englert, who was 12 years old and was learning Masechta Tamid for his bar mitzvah. That's what he was doing. And so he went to his mother, this boy from Lakewood, and he said, Ma, I want to learn Masechta Tamid, L'Zeicha Nishmas, in memory of that boy, because he was my age and he was doing the same thing I was doing. So the mother said, why don't you write a letter to the parents of that boy and tell them that's what you're doing? It would be so touching and so moving. And so he sat down and he wrote this letter. Dear Rabbi and Mrs. Englert, my name is Binyamin Wilhelm. I am 12 years old. I will be bar mitzvah on the 9th day of Tishrei. I read in one of the papers that your son Yoshua was learning Masechta Tamid for his bar mitzvah. I too started to learn it. I just wanted to tell you that I will be making a siyum, Be'ezras Hashem, on Masechta Tamid. That means he's going to finish it, just like your son wanted to do. And I'm going to learn it, L'Zeicha Nishmas, your son, in honor of the soul of your son Yeshua ben Yitzchak Mendel. With love, Binyamin Wilhelm. And when she cried, when she read this letter, she knew that her husband was going to Israel. And she said, you got to find this man. Somehow you got to find him and bring him the letter. And that's what he did. And the father told me, I spoke to him. He came to the house of Rabbi Englert. And Rabbi Englert said to him, look, I want to show you a box of letters that I've gotten from all over the world. I don't understand many of them. They come from France, they come from Mexico, they come from America. I don't speak English. But this letter that you just translated from your son, that gives me comfort. Here's a little boy, 12 years old, who's thinking that another father and mother, Nebuch, who lost a child, how he could learn something for their son. What a beautiful gesture. The total personality of a person. Do you know that this year, it's unbelievable. I want to tell you why Binyamin Wilhelm was special. In 1917, this little boy's great-great-grandfather in Williamsburg started Yeshiva Torah V'das. I was part of that yeshiva, not in 1917, but later on. But Binyamin Wilhelm, who started one of the main yeshivas in America, and many yeshivas followed, his namesake, so many years later, did something with Torah to bring comfort to another family. What a beautiful, precious thing. And you know something? When you do things like this, your children learn from you. In Camp Romamu this year, one of the camps where my son-in-law is one of the division heads, and my grandson is a counselor there, he told me he wouldn't believe what happened in one of the camps, not in Camp Romamu, that's where they made it known. A kid came to camp the first day, and he came to the head counselor, and he said, you know, at the beginning of the session, each child gives money to the canteen fellow. It's like this, they'll have money that they can spend throughout the year, throughout the summer. So this boy comes and he says to the head counselor, could you find out if there's any kid in camp that doesn't have enough money to give to the canteen manager, because I save money all year so that one camper who doesn't have money will be able to have. Who thinks like this? A 12-year-old boy is doing that. Where do they get it from? They get it from their parents. And when parents do wonderful things, kids will learn to do things as well.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org